Hello, it's Shantae. Welcome to an episode of Explaining D&D about weapons and armor. This topic was suggested by one of my mates, and if you guys want a topic of D&D covered, just leave a comment of what you want me to cover next. Today, so we're gonna start things off with your weapons section with how you attack, because attacking is the key part of a weapon. A weapon that can't attack is just a fancy stick. Yeah. So, there are two dice that you roll when attacking. Your D20, and then either a D4, 6, 8, or 10. I'm pretty sure you never roll a D12. I'm pretty sure. You might. I don't know for certain. I don't think you can. You do. Sometimes you might roll multiple of them based off the weapon, but it's all based off weapon, except for your D20 roll, which you always have to roll to determine whether or not you hit something. Quite important to know whether or not you smack someone's skull in, or you smack your own skull in with a nat 1. Oh yeah, if you roll a 1 when attacking, something bad happens, determined by your DM. If you roll a 20 while attacking, that means you, based off your DM's opinion, you crit. However, the crits are based off your DM. The most common type are, say you're attacking with, I don't know, I know daggers have a D4. Attacking with a dagger, you rolled a 1. And you're going to say you rolled a 20 on your D10. So, DM1 might say that you, instead of attacking for 1, you attack for 2 plus your proficiency bonus. However, DM2 would say that you would roll the die for your second attack. It's all based off the DM, but both ways are good. Personally, I just tell my players to double the roll. But now we're getting on to the actual weapons, which, let me just quickly pull up. Yep, here we go. There are quite a few weapons, and I'm not going to list them off. First up, we're going to explain martial and simple weapons. A martial weapon, a simple weapon, is something that common folk can use without any skill required. I'm pretty sure every single class has proficiency with simple weapons. At least the simple melee weapons. You also have a second category of melee versus range, but we'll get to that after we explain martial. Martial are usually used by skilled fighters, your paladins, I don't know who else. I don't play many classes. Yeah. But spellcasters typically can't use them. Now you have two other categories of weapons. We just went over the melee ones. Now you have your ranged ones. The difference between melee and ranged is melee have a area of 5 feet and you clonk someone over the head, while ranged weapons consume ammunition. Sometimes, based off the DM, you're able to loot your arrows back from the corpses of your fallen goblins that you slaughtered. But they require ammo to shoot stuff, and they get disadvantage if you're 5 feet too near, unless the target is incapacitated or doesn't know you're there. Interesting stuff, I know. However, that is covered on a different page than the actual weapon area. At least I think. Who knows? It might be. Yeah, I just glanced through the range. Alright. So, your proficiency bonus, depending on the DM, is always added to your D20 roll whenever you roll an attack, along with your appropriate modifier. For melee weapons, it's strength, and for ranged and finesse weapons, which we'll get into finesse weapons later, it's dex. So now but they also have properties based on which weapons you're using. So we're actually just going to start off with finesse, which allows you to use strength or dex mod, meaning rogues rejoice, or monks too, because you're probably going to have high dex compared to your fighter, which is most likely just going to be meant for hitting stuff. So that would be strength. Heavy weapons give small creatures have a disadvantage on attacks with heavy weapons, and a heavy weapon's size and bulk. Basically, they're heavy, and small creatures have disadvantage. Yeah, light weapons is small and easy to handle, making it ideal for use when fighting with 2 weapons. So yeah, if you have light weapons, you can probably have 2 of them. Loading allows you to fire a piece of ammunition only once from it, using your action, bonus action, or reaction to fire it, regardless of the number of attacks you can make normally. We already covered ranged weapons. Reach adds an additional 5 feet to your attack, meaning instead of just 5 feet, you'd have 10 feet. Pretty nice. Special weapon has special properties. Just they can range depending on what the weapon is. Thrown allows you to throw it and make turn a melee into a ranged, typically seen in knives. Two-handed weapons require 2 hands to attack with, and versatile can be used with 1 or 2 hands, and there'll be a second damage value for it. Improvised weapons are just based off whatever your DM chooses how they work. Silvered weapons are for enemies with immunity or resistance to non-magical attacks. And then we have Then we have the description of the different special weapons. But anyway, there's quite a few weapons. But they're all useful and unique. Some due to their very cheap value, and some due to their high damage. So, we're going to, and if you want me to do a separate video where I just list out all the weapons and their damage stats, we can, but we're going on to armor because that sounds incredibly boring to watch. I flipped one too many pages over. There are 3 different types of armor. You have light armor, medium armor, and heavy armor. Light armor is just pretty good. It does require a dex mod. Wait, what? Yeah, I don't know how the armor works very well, but basically they require stuff. Oh yeah, light armor is whatever stat plus your dex mod. Medium armor is whatever stat the normal armor has, plus your dex mod with a limit of 2. And heavy armor requires strength. And some armors give you disadvantage on stealth, which is padded, being light armor. You have scale mail, being a medium. Half plate, also being medium. Then every heavy armor gives you disadvantage. Also, you can have a shield that gives you +2 AC, which is just helpful. So, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It helps the channel out a ton, and I hope to see you next time. Later, mates!